All right, let's dive in. Today, we're digging into a story about secrets, the kind of secrets that are buried so deep they've literally become part of the soil of a small Louisiana town. And it all starts with this one haunting question, a question that's been echoing through a little girl's life since the day she was born, a question she was never, ever supposed to ask. At the center of it all is Chantal Perrier. She's 11 years old, and from the moment she took her first breath, she's been a mystery wrapped in a tragedy. You see, her mother, Corinne, vanished from their family's huge plantation home just 3 days after giving birth. For her entire life, Chantal has lived in a house full of whispers, and she just knows the story they've told her is a lie. So this isn't just another story about a missing person. No, this is about a daughter deciding to pick up the cold case that her family and her entire town desperately wanted to keep buried forever. This is the official story. It's the line she's been fed her whole life, usually by her grandmother, Marie Claire, with this kind of ice-cold finality. The story's simple. Corinne was just a flighty young woman who up and abandoned her husband and her newborn baby. It was her choice, her failure, end of story. But here's the thing. Chantal knows that just doesn't add up. Her mom was nicknamed Lightning Miller. She was a state sprint champion who never backed down from a race. On top of that, she was this brilliant, fearless reporter for her university paper. This was not a woman who ran away from a fight. She was the kind of person who ran towards it. And for over a decade, that official story held. But, secrets have a way of coming out. And in the forgotten corners of her own home, Chantal is about to find the very first cracks in that carefully built facade. So, way up in a dusty attic, she finds these two relics. First, a hidden manuscript. It was written by her own father, a man she only knows as this hollowed-out gambler. And second, a box. And it's filled with her mother's journalism, these sharp, incredible articles that asked questions powerful people really didn't want answered. That manuscript, it reveals a father she never even knew existed. Before her mom disappeared, her dad, Nicholas, was this defiant writer, a guy who was willing to fight his powerful family all for love. But after, he just became a ghost, a silent gambler, totally crushed by some kind of trauma so huge it just erased the person he used to be. Something awful didn't just happen to her mother. It happened to him too. And then, tucked away inside her mother's articles, Chantal finds the most chilling clue of all. It's an unfinished letter. And it shows that Corinne wasn't just writing about corruption, she had proof. She had names. She knew that she and her brand new baby girl were in mortal danger. This wasn't a woman who ran away. This was a woman who was getting ready for war. So Corinne's investigation, which Chantal has now inherited, it starts to reveal a truth that is way, way bigger than just one family. This rot, it goes all the way down to the town's very foundation. And Corinne had a name for the people she was investigating, the Leopard Society. Think of them as a secret brotherhood of Belmont's founding families, the Perriers, the Jeanfreos, the Lagranges. For generations, they've controlled everything, the land, the law, you name it. They were the town. And Chantal discovers that all their power, all their wealth, it was all born from one single catastrophic event. A foundational crime that for over 60 years has been passed off as just a natural disaster. In one of her unfinished articles, Corinne laid out this horrifying truth. The Great Mississippi Flood of 1927. It didn't just naturally break the levee at a nearby town. The evidence she found suggested it was deliberately blown apart with explosives. It wasn't an act of God. It was an act of terrorism. And the motive? Well, it was as simple as it was brutal. Land. Before that flood, the rich, fertile riverfront was owned by prosperous black farming families. After the flood, with those families completely displaced and ruined, their land was bought up for pennies on the dollar by shell companies, all owned by, you guessed it, the Leopard Society. And today, that stolen land is home to the massive Belmont Petrochemical Complex. So, as Chantal uncovers the town's original sin, the investigation circles right back to where it started, to the heart of her own home, and to the one person she thought she knew, her grandmother. Armed with all this new knowledge, Chantal knows exactly where to look next. She picks the lock on Marie Claire's private study. This is the family's nerve center. It's the one place where all the secrets, all the ledgers, and all the real power is kept. And inside, she finds it all. Bank statements showing these huge cash withdrawals right before her mother vanished. Letters from a high-ranking member of the Leopard Society confirming the problem had been dealt with, and, this is the chilling part, that we did what you told us to do. It's a crystal clear paper trail for murder for hire. The conclusion is just inescapable, and it is horrifying. Her grandmother, the stern, proper matriarch of the Perrier family, she wasn't just some passive member of this society. She was its banker. She was its shot caller. She was the Leopard matriarch who ordered the hit on her own daughter-in-law. And with that final, devastating truth in her hands, the whole game changes. Chantal is no longer just some curious kid investigating a cold case. She's a threat, and the hunter is about to become the hunter. Her next moves are just swift and decisive. She photographs every single piece of evidence. But the society, realizing its secrets are out, strikes back hard. They try to eliminate any loose ends. But Chantal survives. And with her father's help, she gets the proof to the one authority they can't control: state detectives from outside the parish. And this quote from Chantal just captures her transformation perfectly. The quiet, observant little girl has become her family's reckoning. I mean, the entire power of the Leopard Society was built on secrets and fear. But Chantal now has the one weapon that can destroy all of it: cold, hard, undeniable proof. So in the end, this whole story is about way more than just solving a murder. It asks a much, much bigger question. When an entire community, an entire system is built on a lie so old it feels like it's still breathing, what happens when one child is brave enough to finally speak the truth? Can it be enough to burn it all down?